The morning smelled faintly of cut grass and warm envelopes. The kind of small-town scent you only noticed when you'd lived long enough to compare it to other mornings. Clara Reyes waited in the post office line with a patience that looked like still water. The sun gleamed off windshields, a cicada sang from the pin oak, and the doorbell chime kept time for the town, mail call Grandpa. One of the tank crew kids snickered as the line inched forward. "Easy," his buddy said, not meaning it. "I bet he's got a pension check in there." "Or coupons," another voice added. "Lots of coupons." Clara didn't turn. Habit and mercy had taught her the same lesson: some laughs aren't worth answering. The key ring in her hand clicked softly. A small metal badge on the ring caught a stripe of sun, flashed once, a quick little lighthouse, and went still. "Hey, you see that?" the first kid said. "Toy metal." "Looks like something from a flea market," his friend replied. The clerk inside called next, and the door chime chimed again, pleased to do its job. "Morning, Ms. Peterson," Clara said when she reached the counter. Her voice carried the warmth of 2 radios ago low, sure no hurry. "Morning, Ms. Reyes," the clerk answered, smiling past the glass divider. "Stamps or shipping?" "Just stamps today. The flag ones. I'll be back with a package on Friday." A crewman behind Clara stage whispered. "Did he just say Friday, man?" came the reply. "I can't tell if he's a sir or a ma'am from back here." "Shh," the clerk scolded gently. "Y'all be nice." Clara slid exact change beneath the little slot the coins cool from her palm. "You want a receipt?" Ms. Peterson asked. "Keep it," Clara said. "Paper keeps better with stamps than with me." When she turned away, the bell chimed again. Outside, folks were stacking into the line that never really ended in towns like this: a mother with a toddler, a handyman with a package taped like armor. The tank crew, 4 of them in matching T-shirts with a faded unit logo, leaned against a dented pickup and looked for sport. "You think he's just an old man?" one asked. "You think he's not another?" fired back. "You boys need anything?" Ms. Peterson called from inside. Just time, the first one grinned. "We've got lots of that." Clara paused by the blue mailbox where the paint had been kissed thin by 100 elbows. The badge on her keyring tilted and flashed again. It wasn't big. It wasn't loud. It was a small square of history, the kind of thing people mistake for decoration when they don't know the weight of metal. "You keeping us from the front," or what the tallest kid said, half joking, half hungry for attention. "Let him shuffle," his friend replied. "We'll be here all day anyway." "Doors open, fellas," a man with a straw hat said from the steps, pleasant as iced tea. "We're good," the tallest answered. "We're people watching." Clara let the key ring drop into her pocket and moved toward the bench under the pin oak. The bench had a little brass plaque for a school librarian named Ruth, who had kept the town reading. Clara rested for a breath and watched a robin hop across the lot, head jerking, certain about worms, uncertain about everything else. "You from around here?" the shortest crewman called. "Long enough," Clara said. "Long enough for what? To know." The bell chimes the same even when folks don't. What's that supposed to mean? It means the door's open either way. The cicada sang again. Somewhere a screen door yelped and settled. A woman's laugh floated from the diner across the street where coffee refills counted as care. "You looking for someone, old-timer?" the first kid tried again. "Just looking," Clara said. "Looking at what windshields?" Clara answered. "They tell you which way the morning's going." "That's a weird thing to say," the buddy snorted. "I like it." "You think he's ever driven anything bigger than that mailbox?" the tall one added. Clara stood, the bones in her knees making the quiet clicks she preferred to keep to herself. She pressed the stamps into the envelope, the flag lining up neat, and smoothed it with 2 fingers like the start of a prayer. "Need help with that?" the shortest asked, suddenly tentative. "I've got it," Clara said. "You sure, quite?" He hesitated, then nodded as if he'd passed a test he didn't understand. A glass truck rumbled by, the sound of bottles clinking like a careless choir. Ms. Peterson leaned out the door. "Y'all don't forget the parade meetings at the library at 2. We know," the tall kid waved. "We'll be early. Don't you worry." Clara stepped aside to let a young mother navigate the stroller over the threshold. The mother said, "Thank you kindly." "You bet," Clara said. "Take your time." As the stroller wheels bumped the little lip, the badge on the key ring peeked out again, caught sunlight, and the nearest crewman squinted. "That's not a toy, is it?" he murmured. "It's something his friend said. Probably from a cereal box." "You don't get metal like that in a cereal box," the shortest replied before he could stop himself. Clara tucked the ring deeper and felt the familiar warmth of worn edges. The shape was memory as much as metal. The tall one cupped his hands around his mouth and fired the last shot of the morning's games, words pitched to float across the parking lot and land just where they'd sting Bet. He can't even drive a tank anymore. The post office lot carried its own morning weather, warm paper-cut grass and a bell that chimed every time a neighbor remembered a stamp. Clara Reyes stood in the line beneath the pin-oak hands, easy at her sides, the patience of a porch swing on a windless day. "Mail call, Grandpa," one of the tank crew boys called from the steps. "Easy," another said, not easing at all. "He looks like he collects coupons. Bet there's a whole scrapbook, a third added. 2 for 1, everything." The door swung, the bell chimed, and the town gave a small nod to itself. Clara shifted her key ring from one palm to the other. A square of metal on it turned to catch the light, a brief bright wink, then lay quiet again. "You see that?" the tallest boy said. "Little toy metal, from the thrift store," his buddy said. "Right by the cracked mugs. Y'all be nice," called Ms. Peterson from behind the counter. "Next, please." Clara stepped forward. "Morning, Ms. Peterson. Morning, Ms. Reyes. Stamps or shipping today?" "Stamps. The flag ones if you've got 'em. We always do." The clerk's smile traveled easily. "How many enough to keep the letters honest?" Coins slid under the glass, cool on cool. Behind her, the boys found more wind. "You think he's from around here?" "Looks planted. Like a mailbox with shoes." Clara didn't turn. The keyring clicked softly. That small metal square lifted, flashed again, and fell still. "Need a receipt?" Ms. Peterson asked. "I'll remember," Clara said. "Papers for the letters. You coming to the library meeting at 2? I wouldn't miss it." On the steps, a man in a straw hat touched his brim and stood aside so a mother could work a stroller through the door. Clara stepped back too. "Thank you," the mother said. "Take your time," Clara answered. "The bell's patient." "Hey, old-timer," the tallest boy called, aimless and aimed. "You waiting on a pension check or a birthday card from 1970, another said. "Careful now," Ms. Peterson warned, voice soft as a hymn. "Manners don't cost postage." Clara eased to the blue mailbox with its rubbed thin paint and set her envelope on the little lip to press the stamp flat. The bell chimed again. Somewhere across the street, a coffee pot sighed, and chairs scraped the diner floor like friendly boots. "Pretty keychain," the shortest boy said, closer now despite himself. "It keeps my keys together," Clara said. "That all?" "That's enough." He nodded, half apology, half habit. His friends weren't ready to nod at anything. "Where'd you get it?" the tall one asked. "Got what? That shiny square?" "It found me," Clara said. "Like a prize in a cracker box." A buddy laughed. The cicada sang. A delivery truck clinked glass bottles in passing. The lot smelled faintly of sun-warmed cardboard and the last of the morning dew. Next, Ms. Peterson called again, then leaned to the glass. "Ms. Reyes, you want me to hold the door?" "I'll manage," Clara said, her radio-soft voice carrying just enough. "You always do." Ms. Peterson smiled. At the threshold, Clara paused to let the stroller roll back out. The small metal square turned once more, caught a clean blade of sun, and daylight wrote a tiny bright square on the doorframe. "You sure that's not a toy?" the tallest boy said. "Looks like something you win at the fair," another added. "Looks like something you keep," the shortest said, almost under his breath. Clara's thumb found the familiar edge, the worn, softened place where time had done its work without raising its voice. She slipped the ring deep into her pocket and let the morning steady itself around the bell. "Ma'am," the tall boy tried again, "you from the service or just the post office?" "The post office serves too," Clara said. "I mean?" He grinned at his friends. "You ever drive anything bigger than that stroller?" The straw hat man lifted his chin. "Doors open, boys." "We know," the tall one said. "We're just visiting." "Visit quiet," the man said. "Some folks got letters heavy enough without help." Clara moved to the bench under the pin oak, the one with a brass plate for the town librarian who had kept stories walking. She sat for a beat, then stood again. Morning errands are better finished than saved. The boys drifted like a loose whisper toward the curb. "You think he hears us?" one asked. "He hears what he chooses," another answered. "What do you hear, old-timer?" the tall one called. "Windshields," Clara said. "They tell you which way the day's moving." "That's not an answer," he laughed. "It is just not yours." He looked at his friends like a pitcher waiting for his catcher to decide. The bell chimed once more, cheerful and fixed. A robin hopped, considered a crumb, and decided for yes. "You boys coming to the library later?" Miss Peterson asked. "We'll be early," the tall one said. "We got thoughts." "Bring them," she said. "We'll make room." Clara turned her envelope edge to edge, pressed the stamp one last time, and slid it into the mouth of the blue box. The letter disappeared with a small, certain sound. The tall boy cupped his hands and leaned back so the line and the lot could hear him. His friends brightened, hungry for the laugh that proves a morning belonged to them. "Betty can't even drive a tank anymore." The diner kept the town's time. Cups clinked, a grill sighed, a radio found oldies and held them steady. Sun slid across chrome like it knew the route. Clara Reyes took a booth near the window, palms flat, to feel the Formica's quiet hum. "Refill for you, dear?" the waitress asked, pot already tilted. "Yes, ma'am," Clara said. "Let it surprise me. That's coffee's job." The waitress smiled. "Cream, not today." Two booths over the tank crew boys had colonized a corner. Elbows wide, voices wider. The tall one drummed the table with a spoon. The shortest counted sugar packets like timing a parade. "You see him at the post office?" the tall one said. "I saw him, not hurry," his friend replied. "He looked." Planted, another offered. "Fence post," the tall one declared. "Set deep." "Fence posts keep cows home," the waitress said, passing. "Yes, ma'am," the tall one answered. Not chastened, only louder. Clara folded her napkin twice, then twice more. The key ring sat by her saucer. A small square of metal lay face down, quiet as a coin asleep. "Morning, Ms. Reyes," Mr. Tolley said from the register. "Morning," Clara said. "You need the usual toast, just the coffee. I owe the day a slow start." "The day likes those," he nodded. The youth postal clerk, Timmy, slid into the opposite seat without ceremony, hat in hand, as if that made it polite. "Mind if I It seems we've both decided, Clara said. I guess we did. He studied the key ring. That's a neat square. It keeps the keys together. Keys need help, he said. They wander. The waitress arrived with a practiced pour. On the house, Ms. Reyes. Memorial Week. Thank you, Clara said. You're welcome, the waitress replied. We keep folks warmed from the inside. Timmy cleared his throat. About the square, is it a badge? It's metal, Clara said. I mean, it looks official. It looks like itself. Does it belong to a unit? It belongs to who it belongs to. Across the aisle, the tall one pitched his voice into their air. Hey, Timmy, you doing interviews now? I'm just talking, Timmy said. Ask him what year, the tall one grinned. Ask him if he ever missed a stamp, another added. Clara turned the square with a fingertip. Light kissed its edge, then held. The Formica answered with a pale reflection. It was not a performance. It was memory behaving as metal. Did you serve, Timmy? Asked Gentler now. Everyone serves, Clara said. That's not what I... He started, then reset. What did your father teach you? Breath first, Clara said. Then the hands. That's good for carpentry, he said. It's good for everything. You miss him. Every day that ends, Clara said, and most that begin. The door chimed. A couple took the corner booth. The grill sighed again and surrendered bacon to plates like a small parade. Ms. Reyes, Mr. Tolley called you headed to the library board at 2. I will be there. Good, he said. We need voices that land soft and heavy. The tall one whistled a little march. We'll be at the library too, he announced. I hope you bring your listening ears, the waitress said. We always bring ears, he joked. Listening ones, she repeated, gentler, firmer. Clara lifted the cup. The heat had edged toward friendly, not fierce. Coffee carried cedar from the nearby shop and the sweet echo of pie. A choir might have liked the balance. My father, she said to Timmy, could fix fences with a glance. How? He walked the line first, she said. He let the posts speak. Posts speak. Everything speaks, Clara said. Even days. What did he say about days? Stay steady. Let the shot surprise you. That's beautiful, Timmy said. It was practical, Clara said. It kept his hands honest. The tall one leaned back, chair legs creaking. You hear that, boys? We got poetry with pancakes. Gentlemen, Mr. Tolley said, polishing the counter. We aim for decency in here. Yes, sir, the tall one said, and smiled past the lesson. Clara placed $2 under the saucer. The motion had its own liturgy place press sleeve. The key ring slid an inch. The square rolled, flashed, rested a small tide. Where'd you get it? Timmy asked again, softer. From time, Clara said. Time give out many only to those who keep it. I'd like to keep some, he said. You're already keeping more than you think. The waitress returned with an extra napkin. Take this for the walk, she said. I'll use it for memory, Clara answered. That's the best use, the waitress smiled. At the corner table, the boys orchestrated their own weather. You think he knows a clutch, one asked. He thinks clutches are mittens, another said. Maybe ask instead of guess, the shortest offered, surprising himself. Ask what the tall one said. Ask anything, the shortest said. But ask. Clara stood. The booth released her with a kind groan. You leaving already? Timmy asked. The day's waiting, she said. For what? For us to meet it well. She walked to the register. Mr. Tolly rang nothing and returned the nothing like a gift. Memorial Week, he said. We count differently. Then I'll count blessings, Clara said. Start here, he replied. At the door, a breeze stitched the bell's chime to the radio's chorus. The square found the light once more and wrote a bright postage stamp on the glass. Timmy noticed before he could hide the noticing. It's not a toy, is it? He said. It does the work. It was made to do, Clara answered. What work is that to remember? A man at the counter lifted his hat. Thank you for coming in, he said. Thank you for keeping a table, Clara replied. She stepped outside into noon made of porch boards and slow trucks. The awning offered a thin mercy of shade. Clara sat for one breath on the bench, then two. The bench offered back a different time a porch swing in the half-light chains whispering a father's hand on a coffee mug gone cool. Steady now, the remembered voice said. I am, she murmured. Let the shot surprise you. I always try. The swing moved without moving. Fireflies made a map no one needed to read. Somewhere a neighbor coughed and the dog 2 houses down decided against barking. The evening promised to arrive with manners. The door behind her opened again. The boys spilled out with the radio riding their shoulders. The tall one caught the glint on the glass and reached for the surest laugh, the one that buys a table another minute of feeling big. He tilted his head, smiled too wide, and let the words land where they always do when certainty outruns grace. Looks like a toy medal. The library smelled like paper taking a breath. Sunlight lay across the long table in neat ladders, and a fan turned the air with the patience of a porch swing. A corkboard in the foyer held bake sale flyers and a lost cat notice that had been pinned and unpinned so often the corners looked soft. Order, the librarian said, tapping a pencil once. Parade route plaque, wording public comment. Chairs whispered against carpet. People settled. Clara Reyes set her keyring on the table beside the agenda. The small square of metal rested face up, quiet as a thought. No one asked about it. Most people don't when they've already decided what they're seeing. Let's do the route first, the colonel said. His khakis made a crisp line. His voice did too. We'll stage by the armory. Straight shot down Maple. Turn at the courthouse. Done. We could pass the nursing home the librarian offered. So folks who can't come out can still belong. That complicates the turn, he replied. Roads can be asked, she said, mild as tea. They answer better than people expect. From the back, the tall tank crew boy lifted a hand without waiting to be called. We'd like the diner on the route, he said. It helps attendance. It helps breakfast, the shortest added. Mr. Tolly from the diner stood by the doorway with a foil-covered plate. Cookies, he said. Because arguments go down better sweet. Seconded, the librarian smiled. Pass them around. Timmy, the postal clerk, slid into a chair near Clara. He glanced at the metal square and then at her face. May I sit here? He asked. You already did, Clara said softly. The colonel drew a tiny map on the agenda with a straight edge only he could see. Armory to courthouse, he repeated. Keep it clean. Maple's crown is uneven, Clara said. The float axles will complain. The colonel looked up. Pardon, Maple, she repeated. It leans south at the church corner. Drivers will overcorrect into the curb. Noted, he said. His pen did not move. Mr. Tolly set the cookie plate in the center. Chocolate chip, he announced. Half a mind to name them after Ms. Ruth here. We do not name cookies after librarians, the librarian said, pleased. But thank you, Frank. The choir across the street lifted a chord. Through the cracked window, a warm vowel drifted in and settled on the minutes like a blessing. Next item, the colonel said. Plaque wording. We'll use the standard. What is the standard? Timmy asked. Service remembered, sacrifice honored, he recited. It works, the tall boy said. Short and noble. It works, the librarian agreed. But a line about kindness without return would work better. That's not standard, the colonel said. Standards are tools, she replied. Tools can be sharpened. Clara rolled the metal square with one fingertip. Light slid and came to rest. Timmy leaned closer. Is that a badge? It keeps the keys together, Clara said. That all he asked. That's enough, she answered. The tall boy craned his neck. Looks like something from the thrift store. Thrift stores hold half the town's history, the librarian said. At a discount. Can we move on? The colonel asked. Yes, the librarian said. But let's not step over meaning to get there. Clara cleared her throat, a small sound that made a few heads turn. About the courthouse turn, she said. If the lead float cuts too tight, the tail swings wide. Park cones 2 car lengths back from the statue. Give the driver room to breathe. Have you driven floats? The colonel asked. I've watched corners, she said. From where he pressed. From where you can see both mirrors. That's specific, he said, not smiling. Specific keeps bumpers on, Clara said. The choir shifted keys. Paper rustled. The fan kept the air faithful. Timmy looked from the badge to the agenda. Maybe the plaque should say more, he said. Names. Stories. We can't fit stories, the tall boy said. There's no marble for that. Stories fit wherever they're told, the librarian said. Public comment, the colonel asked, eager for closure. I have one, Mr. Tolley said. A line I heard once, that badge isn't decoration, it's history. He nodded toward the table. Seems right. The room paused. People looked at the metal square again the way you look at an old photograph after someone reminds you who's in it. The colonel's pen clicked. We're not debating souvenirs, he said. Timmy flushed. It's not. We're staying on agenda, the colonel said. Clara folded her hands. Maple's crown, she said simply. You'll want sandbags on the lead. We'll handle it, he replied, with what she asked. Experience, he said. Experience listens, she said. A faint chuckle broke from the tall boy's corner, nervous, not cruel. The librarian slid her pencil between the minutes and spoke without raising her voice. Sometimes silence carries history, she said. We should let it speak when it chooses. The colonel closed his folder. Route Armory to courthouse, he said. Cone placement as needed. Plaque standard wording. Meeting adjourned. Not yet, the librarian said, still mild. We haven't voted. He hesitated. The choir held a long note that sounded like breath. Fine, he said. All in favor of standard wording. Hands went up. Not all of them, opposed, the librarian asked. A smaller forest of hands. The vote leaned one way, not far. We'll revisit the extra line, she said. I am persistent. The tall boy pointed with his chin at the keys. Ma'am, he said to Clara as people stood. Where'd you get that square from Time, she said. Time hand those out, he pressed. To people who keep it, she said. Timmy whispered, it's not a toy. No, Clara said. It works too hard to be one. Chairs scraped, paper stacked. The fan kept turning. The choir softened to a hum like warm air over wheat. At the doorway, the colonel paused near Clara's end of the table. His eyes fell to the metal square, measured it, and assigned it a size it hadn't earned and wouldn't keep. "Ma'am," he said, "we appreciate your attendance." "Happy to be counted," she replied. He glanced at the badge once more, then gave the wrong verdict, because the day's schedule had already spent his patience. "That's above your pay grade, old man," he said. Timmy flinched. Mr. Tolly stopped wiping a cookie crumb. The librarian's pencil did not move, but her gaze did. A small silence filled the room, strong enough to stand in. "Colonel," she said quietly, "we keep our grades here on the board, not on each other." He tucked his folder under his arm. "Meeting adjourned," he repeated. Someone laughed, one short, tidy sound, trying to be harmless and landing heavier than intended. It echoed up into the rafters, bounced once off the hymn drifting in from across the street, and lingered there, thin as a line and sharp as one. The colonel's laughter echoed.